Hello, everyone. Welcome to one more episode of Talking Times. Today, we are gonna have a nice talk about working at Disney. I was having a pre-chat here with Isaac Branco, and guys, there's a lot of interesting stuff and secrecy around that place. I'll say again, if you're watching this on a class, in a with a lot of people, enter in this live on your phone as well. This is gonna help the channel. Okay, so without further ado, roll the intro. Hello, Isaac. Welcome, man.
Hello, Mike. Thanks for having me here, my friend.
And I'm very curious. Let's do an agreement here, man. Let's try to save the good stuff for the end. So you
For
are
sure.
gonna have to stuck with us. All
For
right,
sure.
man. Before we start, please introduce yourself.
Nice, for sure. So, hello, everybody. I am Isaac Branco, or Isaac Branco, if you want to train your accent. I'm an English teacher at Times MÁGICO, and I also work with arts, culture, specifically filmmaking. I am from Fortaleza, but I've just moved to São Paulo. There's going to be 9 months this month. So yeah, I guess that's it.
Nice. And okay, before we go to the Disney thing,
Uh-huh.
uh, you mentioned two interesting things. You were studying to be an actor in a
Uh,
way, right?
so yeah, the thing is, I actually do a lot of artistic, culturally involved stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So yeah, so last year when I still lived in Fortaleza around 2023, I worked as a full-time actor,
Mm-hmm.
but
Nice.
yeah, but my main thing is actually behind the camera. So I also worked as a director, producer, a screen right now in São Paulo I'm taking a screenwriting course in a master's prep course. So about writing. So yeah, it's one of the things that I do.
Oh, that's nice. One thing is relates to the other two. Even with the teaching thing.
Totally.
When
Totally.
I had a band, Isaac,
Uh-huh.
I helped to produce terrible, but it's dear in my heart. Music video that we record. It's
Cool.
here on YouTube in case you guys want to laugh. I will not say anything else. You have to find it. Be a good detective. But it's very interesting on the production because, for example, you write a scene
Uh-huh.
and sometimes it's something simple, but if it's like outside, the weather could be different. You have a lot of mishappenings that could.
Totally. Totally.
And after the editing, it's amazing to see the whole thing together.
Yeah.
Which part do you like more, man? Directing, writing, acting?
Yeah, I mean, if I could choose only one of these, I would love to only direct, you know.
Mm.
But as I told you before, as I lived in Fortaleza, the market there is a little bit different. So I had to be like three, four, five people in just one production. I have some movies that are released. Some of them have trailers here on YouTube also.
Nice.
Uh yeah, and I guess that's very cool because as I work as a director, for example, I get to be like a type of leader, you know, and I have to be able to
Mm-hmm.
communicate very clearly. And the teaching experience has taught me there's how to communicate in more clear way, how and also how to develop a bond between me and well the students. It's something similar to the movie set too. So these are two totally complementary experiences.
Yeah, this would be exactly what I would ask you. How the two things like interact, because you
Uh,
have to be aware of the students'
uh,
posture, body language, and everything. And
totally.
being a teacher here at times is like, do you bring this experience to your classes, like movie class or song class?
Uh, I try to, because sometimes the thing is sometimes the movies that we are the movies from the movie classes sometimes they're so good, and then I start talking as a fan and not as a not, yeah, and not as a professional like from the area. You know, like the movie for this week at Trianon was Death Note, and I love Death Note.
Ah,
You know? So
yeah.
so I was like, oh my gosh, guys, this is so crazy. This guy is so smart, and yeah.
Yeah, I have to watch all the anime because we had a anime class, a movie class with Death Note, but it was not with all the possible spoilers. So,
Oh,
and it's Kira and Lightning, right? The two
yeah,
main.
yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, man, you have to watch it. It's crazy good. It's crazy good.
Okay, so I'll give you a mission as a director. Okay,
For sure.
in the future, make a fantastic live action
Sure.
about Death Note.
Sure. I'd love to.
Okay, and if nobody does, I would ask you do one for Berserk too. It's very heavy stuff, but it's my favorite
Totally.
manga.
Yeah, Berserk is awesome too. I love it.
Okay.
There are many animes that I like too, but now I'm sticking with Naruto because like I'm in that place in my life right now, you know?
Okay. I will not, you will not go into the bingo. We have a bingo here in the podcast. Whenever I say some stuff, they have to drink.
Nice.
But
Awesome.
I will not talk about One Piece today. No, 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 no.
Nice.
All right, I am holding my horses right now.
Nice.
Let's go to the good stuff, Isaac.
For sure.
Okay. How does someone starts to work at Disney? Because it was very interesting when I saw that you would be a guest. Like, have you ever imagined having Mickey as your boss? And then, how is the process? Can you tell us a little bit,
Awesome.
please?
Yeah, so Disney has a lot of different programs where you can work with them. There's the cruise ship programs, there's the guest relations programs. The program that I applied to is called International College Program, ICP. And this program, well, they have like a representative company here that deals with the
Okay.
applications and all of the interview process. The company is called STB. I think it's Student Boreal Travel, something like that. Um, and since I was a kid, I've known that this program exists. So I kind of, well, it's crazy to talk about Disney and not talk about me being a filmmaker and, well, and me growing up because my parents are kind of a cinephiles, you know? And so
Ah, nice.
yeah, so I grew up watching Disney movies, you know? So, and I
So,
have, yeah,
sorry
so
to interrupt you there,
for
but
sure.
which one is your favorite, and why is Beauty and the Beast or the Lion King?
Yeah, it's Beauty and the Beast for sure.
It's mine too, man. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy to think about that because I guess all my taste wa- it's derived from Beauty and the Beast, you know, because Beauty and the Beast is a more darker
Hmm.
princess movie, you know,
Yeah,
and
I have a theory that is the same archetype they used in Dark Romances and in the 50 Shades of Grey, but I'm not gonna give you a lot of details. You can research if you want. But it
totally.
is something kind of,
I,
similar there.
yeah, and I totally agree with you. I totally agree, and I think these archetypes you can see in a lot of dark fantasies, shows,
Mm-hmm.
books, like Sandman. I don't know if you watched Sandman. Sandman.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's very effective because it's like this. You have the innocent girl that is martyr
Uh,
for her time and different
uh-huh.
and bold, and then she meets the her love interest that is not the cliche prince. It has like
Uh-huh.
a dark side,
Uh-huh.
and is her job to fix in a way. So you have the
Yeah.
monstrosity behind. It's the same with
Yeah.
Christian Grey, with Edward, or with the prince. So
Totally.
this, yeah,
Totally. Even with
it
Shrek.
works, right?
Even if Shrek is a,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my God, I never thought about Shrek in this way. It's true.
Yeah, yeah. Shrek fits that theory too. So totally. Very good.
Nice. So, since you were a kid, you had this relation with Disney then. Nice.
Yeah, and I remember when my parents took me to Disney for the first time, and I still have my Mickey. Uh,
Nice.
so this Mickey is almost, I don't know, almost 10 years old. No,
Nice.
it's yeah, almost 10 years old. So um, so I kind of grew up with that relationship. I'd always dreamed about going there. And when I was the right age, because you have to be 18 to apply to the program, and you have to be enrolled in a university or college at
Okay.
least on the second semester. So when I fit all the criteria, I applied, and everything worked out, thankfully.
Nice. And you were telling me before your first day there. Okay. But
Uh,
it it was like a whole year process, right? You mentioned from the
yeah,
application to like, okay, you passed.
yeah, yeah, totally.
Again, and tell us again, what were you doing when you received the good news that you have been approved?
Nice. So that was 2019. I was going through film school, and I also was studying drama and theater. And so the process is divided into two interview phases. And on both of these phases, I was in the drama course. So I was in a historical theater in Fortaleza. And when I received the news, I started to scream, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe it worked!" And I threw myself on the ground, like I was so happy, I couldn't believe what was happening. And people were looking at me and were going like, "Oh yeah, he's probably rehearsing for a Brecht play or something like that, you know."
They were like, well, he takes this classes very seriously, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. They thought I was the best actor in the world, probably.
And how is it to work at Disney in general? Like, if you could summarize the experience, man.
Uh,
Is it magical too? Because people say, work with what you love, and you will never love anything else. And they
yeah,
also say if you will not have to work, they
uh,
romanticize a little. But how was the
yeah,
experience for you, man?
yeah. I would say working at Disney and work at with film, uh, they are both very tiring professions. They're both very exhausting roles, but they are the most rewarding things that I've done in my life, alongside with being a teacher too.
Hmm.
Because well, in both of these three situations, I was thinking about that today. So working at Disney, I was dealing with the happiest moments of someone's lives.
Mm,
I was dealing with the a moment that these people would remember forever. The same way
yeah.
that in class, like last week, I had a student, an in-person student, telling me that she likes to take her lunch break to come to school and have a class with me because that's the moment that she can take a break, that she can breathe, that she can forget about work and just enjoy a nice conversation while learning something new, you know? So,
That's amazing. The fact that we can provide a classroom environment where the teacher is more laid back and the student can commit mistakes, and it's part of the learning process.
totally,
And the classes that we do, like movies,
totally,
songs, the special ones,
totally.
it's exactly like this. It's nice because it's like we are helping them to achieve a bigger dream that they have, but in a fun way,
Yeah.
calm and smooth way. It's nice.
Yeah, yeah, totally. That's what I believe in, like in dialogue classes, in classes that we are having a dialogue, we are having a conversation. And by the way, we're learning something new, you know?
Nice. Okay, and so you were telling me before when your first day there, you had to be there very early, and
Uh,
man, I can imagine what is like training day one. What do you learn on this day?
yeah, so we have it's crazy because we have like day zero where they take us on a it's called the traditions. They take on us
Okay.
they take us on a tour and they talk about everything we need to know about Disney. It's
Mm-hmm.
secrets, like it's secret passages,
Oh,
the
that's cool.
slangs. Yeah, like for example, in Disney, uh, everybody who goes there can notice that. In Disney, you're never going to see an employee. By the way, employees in Disney are called cast members. And
Okay.
you're never going to see a cast member pointing with just one finger. It's either going to be with two or the whole hand. Uh,
Why?
well, because in some cultures, like pointing like this, it's offensive. So
Ah,
yeah. So to not
and you
offend,
cannot do like, yeah, oh, right there.
yeah, yeah. With your thumb, it's okay, but like never with your index finger. You know.
Ah, that's very interesting. So they really train you to be in this multicultural environment because they receive people from all over, right?
Yeah, yeah. And so I uh my name tag even had something here saying that I speak Portuguese, you know? And people who
Nice.
yeah, and people who spoke more languages like Spanish or French, they had these on the under their name tags because well, it's people from all around, so we had to be prepared for anything, you know?
So,
Uh,
is it common for non-English speakers to go there? Like people that go and they have like zero English and they look like, oh my God, you speak Portuguese, please.
it's very common and one of the most amazing experiences that I had. So in Disney, cast members they can do something called magical moment. A magical moment is yeah, a
Sounds
magical
like something from a TV show. No,
yeah.
wow, you received one magical moment.
But it's like that. It's like that. Uh, before like a few years back we had like a specific time to do the magical moment, but now we can do like whenever we want. And one of the magical moments that I could do was to allow people to go into the fast pass line, like there's the normal line and there's the fast pass line. The fast pass line is like a cheat line where you go in front of other
Okay,
people,
is
you know?
the VIP area in a way? Yeah.
Yeah, and I could allow people who to go there if I wanted to. And it's crazy because I had some, I don't know if they were Mexican, but they spoke Spanish. It was
Okay.
three girls, yeah. And so they weren't allowed to go to the fast pass line. And they went like two or three times, and I was like, girls, it's not here. And I tried to speak some Spanish with them, but my Spanish is terrible. They were not understanding me.
I would totally mess up. Like, no puede
Yeah,
ir.
like that, like that. And on the third time that they went to the fast pass line by accident, they were like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're in the wrong line again." And I said, "Wow." go on. You can go this time.
You're
And,
gonna receive a magical moment. Fireball.
yeah,
No.
yeah.
But
I just
is there a limit, Isaac, for how many magical moments you can provide? Sorry, man, I keep laughing. I don't have the maturity to say this out loud. Is there a limit of how many magical moments you can
don't worry
provide?
about it, my friend. Yeah. Well, of course, I can't allow everybody to go into the fast pass
Yeah, that
line.
would be messy. Yeah,
Yeah,
cannot go
but
like Oprah. Like you have a magical moment. You have a magical moment.
yeah,
You.
yeah. There isn't exactly a limit, but there's the common sense, you know.
Okay.
So it's like that. So uh, if uh, if someone that happened with me too, a girl popped a balloon, a Mickey balloon, a
Mhm.
little girl, and she was very sad. So we have like an amount of money, like I think it's like $100 that we can give back to the guys. Like she popped a balloon. All right, I can give you like a gift card that gives you another balloon, you know?
Oh, that's very cool. Have
Yeah.
you ever received any bribes? For example, hey, wanna give me a taco for a magical moment?
Yeah, the thing is, guys are not aware of magical moments, you know?
Unless
Uh,
they know somebody from the inside.
yeah, unless they know somebody from the inside. But the thing is, so I know someone who was looking for a hot dog stand and asked a quick service person that was
Mhm,
selling ice cream about the hot dogs. And the hot dogs were on the other side of the park, so this guest would have to walk a lot. And
mhm.
the quick service person gave a free ice cream to this person, to this guest. And don't worry about the hot dog. Here, have a free ice cream. So that's
Yeah,
a
that's amazing.
moment.
Now, seriously,
Mhm.
it's nice because it provides a very welcoming environment.
Totally.
It makes sense. People feel so great, and starting with the names that you use. Oh, you're not a customer, you're a guest. I'm
Exactly.
receiving you in my house. I'm not an employee. I'm a cast member because we are part of a
Exactly.
bigger spectacles. Is the
Exactly.
That's very
Exactly.
beautiful, very interesting.
Exactly.
Talking about the crew members there, how is the relations, man? Because you live in like Disney accommodations, you have like a
Yeah.
housing there. How does it work?
Yeah, there was a housing complex. Nowadays, it's a different housing complex,
Uh-huh.
but it was for big condominiums. And yeah, it's crazy because I am an only child and I had to share the apartment with seven other people, you know? And we all lived there. It was an all cast member condominium. And there was some buses that would take us to the parks and like Disney buses. And it was very cool because everything was very accessible there. And at the end of this experience, I was really scared uh,
Mm-hmm.
because I told you I'm an only child, so I really value my own space, you know.
Uh-huh.
But the guys that I shared the apartment with, they became my brothers, you know, like they're my
Nice.
best friends for life, you know. So
Were they from other countries too?
we had three Peruvian people and four Brazilian, and one from Fortaleza, too.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah, we ended up sharing the same room because I was like, yeah, man, we are from Fortaleza. We're going to understand each other better. But two were from Rio, another one from Campo Grande, and there were two other guys that they lived above us in the apartment above us. But they were like, it was like our apartment was like Monica's place in France, you know. So
Okay.
everybody was there all the time, you know. So
Okay, not a lot of walls and yeah,
no,
that's let
no.
me take a look at the chat before I forget, I will not.
For sure.
All right. Hello, Natalia. Hello, Bruna. Okay. Bruna said here, I love Disney and I'm thinking about going back next year. Okay. So far, I'm very interested in doing the same thing.
Yeah, me too.
Then,
Me too.
yeah, and I want to ask you about the terror night, or they have like a
Oh,
something like this. I don't know if it's still
yeah,
there, because I remember a friend told me, Mike, you like Freddy Krueger, you're gonna crap your pants if you go there. It's really scary. And the attractions
yeah,
are nice,
yeah,
but
yeah. It's
Bruna is asking here.
uh,
Uh, Sorry, go on, Zach.
no, I was just going to say that the scariest one is on the Universal parks. And when I got there, it was happening the Halloween
Mm-hmm.
nights. It's called Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween. It's a very cool event too.
Ah, okay. I want to know a bit more about that.
For sure, for
Nice.
sure.
Um, she's asking here, what learning did you have after working at this? Oh, okay. Well, after this whole experience, Isaac, what can you say were the biggest things you learned there?
Oh,
The
that's
one you mentioned for me, it must have been great
uh-huh.
because uh you one thing is you are an only child, and on the other thing you are, with seven people living with you on
Yeah,
the same place, so a lot of adaptation to do.
yeah. Yeah, I guess I've learned it's crazy because I'm already an easygoing and outgoing person,
Mm,
but I guess I learned to understand other people's anxieties, you know,
mm,
because when you're just wanting to have a perfect day or to provide a perfect day to your kid, you're capable of doing anything, even if that costs your own happiness. And that was something that I had to learn to deal with, and to deal with other people's frustration and to deal with my own anxieties, because uh, I lived some crazy stuff there. Like I went to Disney. I had a girlfriend back in Fortaleza. I came back. I was single. You know. Yeah.
mm. Go there with your princess.
Yeah. Totally. So I had to learn to deal with my own frustrations too. Uh, and I also learned to kind of recognize my limits, like physical limits on work environments, on personal environments. So, but it's still, I guess I learned to, even though I was there the whole day, every day, I still got, and I'm not a routine person, but I
Okay.
still could see a lot of magic in that routine. I still, and it's not that I still can see. No, I cried every day. I cried because of the
Really?
fire. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, because of the fireworks show. I would get emotional. I would remember about my mother, my father. I remember every.
Ah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I would remember everything that
And
I would. Yeah,
I imagine like you watched those movies growing up, and then
yeah,
you're listening the song, and I don't know, you have a live performance. The person goes like, "Tale as old as time."
yeah,
I miss my
yeah.
mommy, man.
I would
That
all,
would be me.
yeah, yeah. And there was not a single day that I wouldn't get goosebumps or that I wouldn't get emotional because of the job that I was doing there, because everything that I went through to be there. So it was really, really magical.
And I imagine all the students watching us now say, "Okay, I have to go there." Well, it's not like there isn't something we can do to help you, right, guys?
Totally.
We
Totally.
can talk to your teachers, coordinators. Okay.
Totally.
Um. Natalia said here, my favorite movie too, I guess, is about Beauty and the Beast.
Nice. Cool.
Um, Another one from Natalia, Isaac. Isaac, what's your favorite park and what is your favorite attraction at Disney?
Nice. I remember the first time that I went to Disney, and my favorite park was by far Magic Kingdom. And I really loved the Pirates of the Caribbean because of the movies and because of the attractions. But the last time that
Ah,
I went,
nice.
which was back in 2019, 2020, when I worked there, it definitely became Animal Kingdom because it was the park that was most available for us because Magic Kingdom was always crowded. Hollywood Studios, they had just opened the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So it was impossible
Mm.
to move around. And Animal Kingdom was the most available one to go. And I totally fell in love with the Avatar flight simulator. It was like the craziest ride ever. I really love it.
Oh, sounds cool. Okay, now tell me a little bit about the Halloween experience you mentioned before.
For
What is
sure.
that like?
In Disney, sometimes they hold private events for companies or well for special guests. When I went there, the Halloween event was happening just for private events. And so
Okay.
we would stay after hours. There was a Halloween parade. There were some of the Disney villains walking around. Uh, it's a very cool experience. They have personalized items. Uh, some attractions they change a little bit. So Space Mountain, for example, in Magic Kingdom, it changes a little bit. It got some purple lights, with some more scary things. But as the name said, it's Mickey's not so scary Halloween.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's an experience that you could take your family and kids with you, for example. It's
totally.
no, okay.
At Disney, totally. But I wouldn't recommend doing that at the Universal parks because
Oh, this is the one I'll probably enjoy. Is the one that is like with the Walking Dead walking
yeah,
around like.
yeah, like they have zombies walking around, people dressed as serial killers. The year that I was there, there was the Last of Us attraction. It
Mm,
was yeah, and it was a very very cool thing too.
nice. What is like the payment system they do at Disney, man? Tell us a little bit about that. How does it
No,
work? Because you are from Brazil and then you go for
uh,
it's like a summer experience, right?
yeah, the summer experience.
So how does it work?
So, they give us a credit card. They open a bank account to us, and it's crazy because we receive a check talent, uh, and they give us a debit card. It only works as debit, and every week, every Thursday, they used to deposit the amount of money we earn, and we only earn what we work.
Okay,
So
so it's like a
it,
weekly payment.
it was a weekly payment. And it's crazy because it was very modern for US standards. Because in general, the Brazilian banking system, it's like it came from the future, and yeah, and it installed itself here in Brazil because it's crazy because a lot of people in the US they still use cash, you know, they still use checks. Um, but it was a very organized system, like the way that we received payment. We always knew how much we're going to receive because we just had to calculate the amount of hours and extra hours that we worked. So it was pretty organized for US standards.
Nice. And did you have days off there to enjoy and go to other attractions?
I did. I had like 4 days off, but in two of them I decided to work still. I work, and on those 2 days, I worked as a crowd control person. So in the Magic Kingdom fireworks show, a lot of people go to Magic Kingdom just to watch the fireworks show. So you can imagine that there's a crazy crowd there. So especially during Christmas and New Year's Eve. So I worked there as a crowd control person, and I've seen from everything. I've seen people throwing up in the crowd. I've seen,
Oh man.
yeah, I've seen a fight break out. Uh, I've seen the funniest thing was when I saw people speaking Portuguese next to me. I always made up an excuse in my mind to speak Portuguese back, and their faces were like their faces were priceless, you know.
That must have been fun. They say like, "Oh my God, the tacos weren't that great." Oh, I'm gonna tell the person. You say that in Portuguese, the person like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, totally.
Ah, you're Brazilian too.
Yeah. And there was one time that I was really mad with a guest because he was putting his child on a lamp post. And I was like, man, oh my gosh, take your child off of there. You're going to cause an accident. I was speaking in English. And then he said, oh, you can't do that. One of the things that the cast members hear the most in these situations is, you ruining my vacation. So
Ah.
uh, I got used to that too. So I said, man, it's the rules. You're not allowed to put your kid there. And then a friend called me, hey Isaac, can you help me here? And then I said, he called me in Portuguese, and then I answered in Portuguese. All right, but there's unpolite person here. There's unpolite man won't listen to me. So we're going to have some trouble, maybe. And then the man, I noticed that he was Brazilian because of the accent. So I spoke in
Uh,
Portuguese for him to listen to me. So and then, so he looked at me, very ashamed, and then took his kid off the
that
post. You know?
was a good strategy, man. It was a good
Yeah,
strategy.
totally,
Okay,
totally.
let me take a hello, Victor. Hello, Wesley. Okay, Marcel asked it here. Has working at Disney ruined the magic, or is it still feel magical for you?
No, no, it increased the magic.
Really, that's nice.
Yeah, like because now I understand all the effort behind everything to make it work, you know? So, all right, maybe I've seen some stuffed head of Mickey and Goofy. All right, I've seen those, you know? But still, it still feels very magical whenever I see that castle. Whenever I see a Disney movie, it comes all back to me. So it still feels very magical.
It's a lot of people involved, right? Roughly, do you know how many people work there where you worked?
So I guess it's around 3,000 people.
Damn, it's an
Yeah.
army.
Yeah, it's an army. Because so you can imagine, Magic Kingdom is the biggest park, and it receives like the maximum capacity for the park is 100,000 people, and usually it has from around 60 to 80,000 people. But on
Oh,
Christmas
that's
night,
crazy, man. It's like
yeah,
it's like working at Rock in Rio. Like,
yeah, totally. And at um, at Christmas Eve, December 24th, it was the craziest day of my life because you almost couldn't walk, you know? It felt like Brazilian carnival, you know?
family friendly Brazilian carnival
Family
here.
friendly Brazilian
Uh,
carnival. Totally.
okay, you told me that you saw many things. So if
Uh,
let's share a bit of some secrets here, okay?
uh,
Some of them.
yeah.
The Cinderella one can be the later. But
Uh-huh.
tell us about the tunnels. Is that true, man? That there are tunnels? Because I imagine, like, if I worked there, you
Uh,
could easily prank people. Like they would imagine you are teleport, like you are in a place and then you go to a secret passage and then you are
uh-huh.
on the other side of the parking. How did you get here so fast?
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. And there are tunnels. Specifically in Magic Kingdom, the tunnels are huge. But in other parks, there are some that have tunnels, like smaller ones, or like outside facilities that you even can see, but you wouldn't know that there is staff working there, you know? And I had trouble inside those tunnels because I worked at Magic
You got
Kingdom.
lost there, right?
Yeah, I got lost. Like I got lost every day for a week, you know? And the problem was that I had the Fantasyland costume. Fantasyland is behind the Cinderella's castle. It's like on the small island. So in Magic
Okay.
Kingdom, you have Fantasyland, you have Tomorrowland. So anyways, and I couldn't go to Tomorrowland wearing a Fantasyland costume, but
Oh,
I had to get out of the tunnels and get into like into the park. We call it on stage. I had to get on stage, you know. So I had some trouble walking around those tunnels. But there was one specific day that I was lost and I saw like a family, like two men and two kids walking around the tunnels. And I was like, what are these people doing here? And they had some cast members walking around with them too.
uh-huh.
And I went closer to look, and it was Neil Patrick Harris. You know,
Oh, he's amazing.
yeah, from Barney from How I Met Your Mother, you know?
Man. And
Yeah.
then you scream, suit up.
Yeah. No, I had to contain myself.
Oh my God, you have to be
Yeah.
professional. It's so hard
Yeah,
because he's having fun with his family. Obviously,
totally.
famous person at the tunnels because he wants some privacy and yada yada
Yeah.
yada. And
Yeah. Yeah.
have you seen many famous people there?
I didn't. I saw some Brazilian actors. There was one. I forgot his name, but he's a global show host.
Mhm.
He has like gray hair. I totally forgot his name now. But he was there with his daughter, and I was looking at his daughter. His daughter was dancing. I was looking. Oh my God, she's so cute. And then he talked to me. Daughter, see how he is amazed by your dance. And I was like, yeah, yeah, man. I started to speak in Portuguese with him. It was very cool. But a friend of mine, he worked at Hollywood Studios at the Phantasmic concert. And
Phantasmic concert. That's the name.
yeah, Phantasmic concert is is the attraction where Mickey does a show with lights and water.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, it's a very cool show. And he saw a friend talking to a guy who was Brazilian. And then when the guy entered the attraction, this friend went up to the other cast member and said, "Hey, did you know that you were talking to Felipe Neto?"
Oh, you
And
could have punched him, man. Damn.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah. But
sorry, I have to be professional. I don't like him. Okay.
no, no problem. Totally, totally, totally.
And
But
then he went to the Cinderella castle and oops, you know.
yeah, totally, totally. But yeah, I saw some people from afar. I saw Michel Teló from afar. I saw Juliana Paz from afar. Larissa Manoela
That's not.
too. Yeah, but only from afar. I didn't interact with them.
This I imagine now seriously. I imagine is interesting. For example, if the person is very famous in Brazil, to a level that you can barely walk on the streets, that you would be stopped, and people would ask for an autograph, a selfie, this type of stuff. But there, you are just a tourist enjoying Disney, you know. So I guess
Totally.
it's very special for them too, you know.
Totally. And yeah, it's crazy because we see them walking around, and they're like, oh my, it's kind of a similar experience that I've had when I came to São Paulo, because in the Paulista Avenue, I've seen some famous people, and I was like, oh my gosh, why are they acting like they're normal? You know, but they are normal. They're normal people.
Yeah, it's just a person. Okay, what are the secrets from Disney you can share, man? Yeah, the
Um,
tunnels are it's not a secret anymore, but it was back in the day, right?
yeah.
But
Um, so Disney has their own slangs and terms for specific situations.
mhm.
So as we were talking before the show started, there's this problem with lost kids. Like kids get lost easily, especially if it's in crowded spaces.
Okay.
So we refer to that situation as code 7. And there's a code for everything, you know, like when people throw up, that's called code V, you know. Uh, so
Code
that
V.
code V, yeah, yeah. When people,
Vomit.
yeah,
Okay.
vomit, you know. When people pee in their pants, it's called pee, you know.
Okay, let's just stop right there.
Yeah,
Okay,
for
because
sure,
I can get easily carried away with this type of coding thing. You know, like,
for sure.
oh, we had a code M here at the
Yeah,
Cinderella Castle. Please,
totally,
you guys will have to guess. What's
totally.
the code? What's the code, Zach? When they, if there's a code, there's a story. What's the code for a dead body?
Nice. So when I was there, they told me this show. So it was my first code 7. I had 2 lost kids. Um, and I went to my coordinator and I said, "Hey, I got a code 7 here." And then all right, we found the kids' parents, and then she told me, "So, you know that we had a problem once because a person said we had told me that we had code 70. And then some paramedics started to come here and ask us questions. And then that's how I found out that code 70 is for a dead body, you know?
Like you go to Disney, you see a car from the morgue there, and like,
Yeah. And
okay, is that a new attraction or?
yeah, and it was crazy. It was like that because like maybe the person misunderstood. The person said 7, but the other one understood 70, and then paramedics came. But there was no
And
dead body, thankfully.
oh, okay. And you mentioned this story with the guy with the kids on the lamp. What was the most unusual thing that happened to you there, man?
Um, Unusual. Well, I wouldn't say unusual, but it was very funny because
Okay.
sometimes I would just, if there wasn't days that were more calm, sometimes they would assign us the task of only sweeping the floor, for example. So one day I was sweeping the floor, and of course, I am from Fortaleza, so I was sweeping the floor singing forró. And then, and then, yeah, of course, right? I was sweeping the floor and singing forró, and then a person behind me started to sing
Start to
with me.
sing.
Yeah, and then he was Cearense too, and then we did the famous Via Cearense there, and then
Man,
and he was like, "Whoa,
this
from what neighborhood are you from?" and whatever, and it was very
uh,
funny.
this should have become a Disney attraction there.
Totally. So,
you brought a very nice part of Brazil with you, that is this energy and this vibe that we have, and it makes people feel a little bit at home, you know. I imagine the person probably like was shining at this moment.
yeah, totally, totally. I mean, this guy can say that he sang for with a Disney cast member like for the rest of his life. It was very cool, very cool.
All right, there are more stuff in the chat here. Okay. Bruno said Hollywood Studio is my favorite. Bruno is asking, that's a very good one, Bruno. Did you learn English working at Disney, or you had to be fluent before? What's the English level required there?
Nice. When I went, I was already fluent, but I had a very heavy accent. I guess I still do have an accent, like you don't get rid of that. But it was in a level that some of my American peers, they told me, hey man, speak a little bit slower because your accent is very heavy. But until the end of the program, like I guess I learned some strategies to speak more clearly, to speak better. Uh, and it was very, very cool. So I told you that I became single during the program. So I had to learn many types of strategies in English, you know? So
Oh man, I know what you did there. I say,
yeah.
well, hello, you girl. Would you like to have a magic moment?
Yeah, because
We
it's
can
not.
have a magic date. Oh my
Yeah.
God, this would be the best date ever, man.
Yeah.
You go out with a
Totally.
girl and like you go to a hot dog stand, walking the beach,
Yeah.
anything like that, and then okay, I have a surprise for you on our day two, and then you take the girl to Disney and
Totally.
Cinderella Castle. Oh, Cinderella Castle, we have to talk about that too.
Nah.
All right, tell us
Totally.
that story, okay? And then you watching us, I want you to comment here. What do you think happens in Cinderella Castle? Okay, tell us this story, Zach, please.
Nice.
First, you got lost in the tunnels, and then.
Nice. Now, all right. So I was lost in the tunnels and I had to get on stage because it was my work time. I was going to get late and I was completely lost. So if you go as a guest to the Cinderella Castle, you're going to see that's only a corridor, you know. But
Okay.
inside there's like a big door that gets you into a literal stage where shows happen, the Frozen show, the Halloween show. Wow. And then I found myself there and I was completely lost. I said to a guy, "Hey man, I need to get on stage like urgently." And then he was on the phone and said, "All right, I'll help you in a second," because the show was about to start. So there were a lot of princesses walking around, a lot of princes walking around, and me completely lost. And then I started to go up some stairs because I remembered that to get on stage, I had to go up some stairs. And then I saw like a huge lad door. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm not supposed to be here. And then, yeah. And then a person, another cast member came up to me and said, hey, are you lost? Is something happening? And I said, yeah, I'm totally lost. I just started. I'm from the ICP college I'm from the college program. And he said, all right, man, come with me. I'll get you on stage. And then he told me that I got to Cinderella's room. Uh, and the Cinderella's room is a room that only uh, only a few selected guests can access that because you have to win in some kind of competition. It's like a big hotel room, very, very fancy with a big television, a bed, jacuzzi, and all of that stuff. And after 10 p.m., after the park closes, if there are guests inside the room is locked and the guests can only,
So that's where it gets tricky. You are
yeah,
in Cinderella's room locked there at
yeah,
Disney. Huh.
yeah.
There's probably some secret passage there that would lead you to, I don't know.
Yeah, like the excuse is that the guests can't walk around the park at night, you know? So
Yeah, they could mess up something that it makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah, but it's a very if you look up in Google, there are some pictures of that room. It's very interesting. I wish that door was open so I could.
Yeah, you have like a Pedro Bial sneak peek, you know.
Yeah, totally, totally. But unfortunately, it was closed.
Okay, and by the way you described the guys was not actually shady or anything. He was being helpful, like, oh, well, how to
Uh,
get on stage.
yeah, yeah.
And
They are very helpful in general, you know.
man, that's very. Oh, there's a. You were telling about the forró singing, sweeping experience. Renan Lima said here, teacher Isaac, uma gente fina. Teacher Isaac, o teacher mais arretado. You know, he said, you are. I
Yeah,
don't know how to say arretado in English, guys. I'm sorry, you
yeah.
know.
No translation to
But
that.
you guys can comment. How do you say arretado in English? Uh, you know.
Yeah, nice,
Uh,
cool.
this Cinderella's was like, yeah, we were talking about conspiracy theories before, you
Uh-huh.
know, but I hope the Cinderella's room is not like that, man. I hope it's not like that. That would
No,
be
it's not. It's definitely not.
okay.
Nice.
And so was it what you wished for, Isaac? When because since you were a kid, you dreamed to work there, and after it was, 'cause I don't know. I imagine it was around 3 months. So when it was
Uh-huh.
over, I don't know, maybe a film flashing before your eyes,
Yeah.
and you were like, "Man, that was great. That was so fast." And when you had to go
Uh-huh.
back to Brazil, a
Uh-huh.
bittersweet moment, maybe. How was it?
Yeah. I don't want to seem that I'm romanticizing this kind of exhaustive work because it was exhaustive, but yeah, it was everything that I hoped for. And for me, somebody asked earlier about the things that I learned there. I think that was the first time ever in my life that I recognized myself as someone from the Northeast, you know, because
Ah,
yeah,
nice.
because I never stopped like to think of my cultural identity, you know. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, all right, I'm a kid who likes movies and I'm a little bit nerdy, but I never stopped to think that, you know, I have the forró inside me. Like, man, here in São Paulo, it's crazy how people don't dance forró, you know? Like here and in Fortaleza, I'm the lamest forró dancer ever. But here in São Paulo, I am the sensation, you know? And yeah,
Nice. And, oh, there's
and
some tricky moves there. If you really do the pair dancing, there are a lot
yeah,
of things you can do.
yeah. But in Disney, it was the first time that I stopped to think about it. Uh, and to recognize myself as a Cearense, as as an arretado person. So
Yeah, we cannot translate that. Arretado is
yeah.
fucking arretado. I
Totally.
mean, it's nice in a way because by serving others in a way you served yourself in terms of self-identity. Like you had to be a foreigner to recognize something, this inner side that you have that is about your culture, your background. That's nice.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, Zach, we are running out of time, you know.
Oh, that's so sad.
But okay, yeah, I know. It's very nice, very easy to talk to you, man. You have
Oh,
this
cool.
very nice vibe. Nice.
Cool. I appreciate that.
I see. Uh, final question. What make like Maria or Marilia Gabriela? Maria Gabriela question now.
Nice.
What makes Disney magical?
Uh, well, I guess people make Disney magical, you know? Uh, because there's so many people walking on backstage, and there's so many people trying to make an effort to make that work. Uh, and also like not only the people that are working there, but the people who go there, the people who accept that there's a place on earth that is the happiest place on earth and is the most magical place on earth and is the best place for you to be and to live your dream and to like to go to another dimension for a few days and like just leave the moment, you know. So I guess it's the people who make it magical.
Nice, that's nice. All right, I'm gonna end in a different way today, you know. And Nesta asked me to ask you to give a via.
Nice. Nice. So yeah, this is how we identify where there are Cearense people or not. So if you go
Okay.
to the middle of Paulista Avenue and do this, if someone responds, there's going to be a Cearense person there. All right.
Okay.
Good. So the fire goes like, yeah.
You just have to do this. I do
Yeah.
that playing football sometimes, man. I guess if somebody answers me from afar, I know, oh, okay, it's from Ceará. Now
Yeah.
the mystery is so
Somebody does that from afar. This person is from Ceará.
not. Zach, thank you so much for being here, man, for sharing your experience and stories. It's very nice, you know. I guess everybody here wants to go there and visit, you know. Final message to whoever is watching us here before we wrap this up.
Nice. I don't know. That's very difficult, but I just would say like Disney is this magical place, and it's a place where you can believe in your dreams, you know, and it's a place that it's proof that dreams are real, that fantasy is real, that fairies, princesses, beasts, talking fish, talking cars, all of that stuff is real, you know. You just have to find it where they are. It doesn't have to be in Orlando, you know. It's here in São Paulo. There are magical things too.
Nice. Thank you so much. And thank you watching us here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. This episode is gonna be on Spotify tomorrow. And hope to see you on our next and magical episode of Talking Times. Bye bye, guys.